How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video, and it seems Xbox just can't stop shooting itself in the foot. This time it's the social manager who's decided that he is going to meme, and obviously it was just a meme, but obviously the internet is going to run with this. He should know better, especially with the tensions being so high. You've got a camp that actually likes the direction Xbox is going. I am one of those people. But you've got a much bigger camp that actually does not, and you kind of need to tread a bit more carefully. So we're going to go into that. We've also got some Stalker news, some Call of Duty news, and then some unfortunate news. So leaving the unfortunate, naming and shaming towards the end, what we're going to do right now is jump right in and talk about the actual news regarding the social manager, because I think at this point, they just need to be doing better. So as you can see here, Stein says, if you know, you know, this is an Xbox. And this is in response to Jeff Keighley's, if you know, you know, 30th anniversary. He got the 30th anniversary console, and he's obviously going to shill it like there's no shilling left on this planet, because obviously Jeff Keighley and Sony are, joined at the hip like Siamese twins. They just cannot be separated, and you know what? Whatever. The guy loves his console, but what you don't do is this. Now, I get it, it's just a meme, and he even says, some of you take Twitter too seriously. I'm just joking with Jeff. And you know what? He is, but then you've got people like Fonz who's saying this is pretty spot on, and, do you realize what you've done? Mate, too soon, bro. Like I said, delete this. He knows what's coming. It's, everyone's now going to be running with it. It's not the right thing to do, right? It's not. It's just not the right thing to do. You've also got now, post up saying, I tried to tell y'all, which basically, he's been parroting about how it's over for Xbox. There's no real future for Xbox. And that, Tim Dog was right and all this. He's kind of gone off on that bandwagon, which is fine, He doesn't like the direction they're going in and can't accept it. Like I said, there's a bigger portion of people who simply cannot accept the way and direction Microsoft is going, where Microsoft want you to be able to game on any platform whatsoever. It's not like Sony is doing the same. Oh wait, they've already now started with the PS Portal and soon PC. Well, I mean, their games are going to PC anyway, but you'll be able to play them through cloud before long on the PC and off other devices. They are clearly just testing the waters with the PS Portal in a controlled environment to see what the uptake of such a service would be and how many people would actually sign up to Premium in order to play that service, which is a pretty smart thing to do in a controlled environment. The next phase on that is to put it onto mobile and tablets and then onto your browser. So it's going in the right direction for them as well, and it's good. A friend of mine today actually reached out and said, you know what, I actually had no interest in the Portal, but now that it can actually play PS5 games without the need for a console, I'm actually interested. Guess what? Sony's plan in following exactly what Xbox is doing has now paid off, because more and more people are now looking at the Portal as a viable option, so they don't need to buy another PS5. Great thing, right? More choices mean more subscriptions, mean more revenue, means more money for your games. Overall, that's all anyone should care about. But like I said, this was just too soon. And this sort of meme is, in my opinion, completely and utterly tone deaf by Stein. I mean, I know he was joking, but it's just not the right time. There's a time and a place. You've seen the advert. There's a time and a place for cup of soup. This isn't it. If you haven't, Google it. Obviously, now you've got the PlayStation fans, jumping on the bandwagon, mocking Xbox, mocking Stein, going along with the whole slate and stuff like that. The point I'm trying to make here is, even if they were going to do that, and Xbox wasn't in, PlayStation wasn't in their marketing. Neither was the Switch. None of these were in their marketing. Why would you decide that now is the right time when you've had such a big pushback from the hardcore community regarding your ad campaign? Maybe the casuals are totally okay with it. Like my kid, who's a full normie, casual, when he saw the ad, he said it was a great move by Microsoft. More ways to play, more people can play it. That's a normie attitude, but the hardcore is going to push back extremely hardly on this. So this is almost like them slapping the hardcore community slap bang in the middle of the face with a wet fish and saying, whatever, buddy, you're not important to us. And I mean, that's been the message that they've been saying for a while now, but you don't have to kind of portray it out there in this manner. And again, I know he was joking. I know it was a meme. He even said himself, I was only doing it, having a laugh with Jeff. But at the end of the day, that isn't it. When tensions are high, you need to take a bit more responsibility, be more aware of your surroundings, and just kind of be more on top of things. Read the room. Don't be tone deaf. I just think it was a thing. Stein is a nice guy. I haven't seen him, do anything that's just out of turn. And even this, like I said, is just a meme that's been going around. Everyone's doing a meme. I mean, you've seen the number of ones Gaz has put out. So he wanted to join in on the fun, but this probably wasn't the right one. So my message to Camp Xbox: do better, be better. Don't just cater for the normies. Cater for the fans that actually made you who you are today. The Xbox community who stood by you since day one. Since the OG Xbox 360, the abysmal Xbox One, and now the Series S and X. Even during your transitioning period. Do better. So Call of Duty news. Now, Call of Duty obviously is on Game Pass, and a lot of people are playing it through there. Matt Piscatella says Call of Duty Black Ops 6 to Game Pass did a few things in the US. It resulted in a subscription spending boost. Now, this is really important because we've got over here, what has Game Pass done to Call of Duty? Shifted share of full game sales to PlayStation. Clearly, Jay Barry has lost reading comprehension. That's the only thing I can think of. Clearly, he can't be doing this to console war, right? He can't be stooping that low to actually make himself look stupid and illiterate in order to console war. Maybe he is, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt anyway. Because it says right here in the first tweet, it resulted in a subscription spending boost. This means DLC, Vault Edition, and Game Pass subscriptions, which Satya Nadella has also said that day one subscriptions on a game, this has been the highest they've ever had. So we're expecting like 3, 4, 5, 6 million subs. Time will tell when the next earnings call comes in, and we'll see how many of those stuck around and continue to subscribe and whatnot, and see where that is, because we don't know those numbers. At present, it's all speculation. Did not appear to result in a massive cannibalization of sales, which is what we have been saying. It's not going to do that, because at the end of the day, you've got the camp at PlayStation, which are generally the majority because they just have a bigger, community base. Right now, they've got a 2-to-1 community base. It's obvious, right? So they're gonna buy more, and did not appear to provide a significant boost to Series X. The significant boost is there. I mean, it didn't provide a significant boost. It provided a 10% sales increase to Xbox hardware, which is still nice, but obviously Xbox were hoping for like a 30 or 40% increase. It didn't give them the boost they wanted, I guess, but at least that's what I'm thinking. But 10% is still 10% from just Call of Duty. Now they need a few more games of that caliber to hit the market to encourage more people to subscribe and buy. That's the next step. So all the open questions regarding the impact of subscriptions are still pretty open in my opinion, and whatever one believes currently, well, not sure this biggest of tests is changing anyone's mind either way yet. I mean, you don't have any information, Matt, so you can't even say that. You're literally just making a hyperbole, statement to just turn around and decide that it's going to get you some form of clicks on social media and start the console wars. It's a stupid. At the end of the day, until you have the information, you can't say anything. Also, EA Sports College Football is this close to becoming the all-time best-selling sports video game in the US history. That's pretty cool, but didn't quite get there in October next month. So that's pretty cool. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl has sold over 1 million copies. Now this is considering the game is available on Game Pass PC, Game Pass Xbox. It still sold over 1 million copies. That's insane. 1 million copies were sold, and much more stalkers joined the artifact hunt with Game Pass. That's crazy. Now, I've been playing this on the Series X, and honestly, outside of the UE5 usual frame rate issues, which we've all seen, and, from multiple games, it runs 60 in places, but generally it runs between like 45 and 55, and if you've got a VRR display, which I do not, unfortunately, I'm told it actually does just boost it straight to 60, and that's what you want anyway. So as long as it's above 40 FPS, VRR will kick in and do the rest. So that's great, but for those that aren't on VRR displays, you're not going to get that benefit. So you're going to be running between 45 and 55 frames per second. I haven't seen it really dropping to below 40, which is fine, but 1 million copies being sold. It's got, I think it was close to 200,000 people playing concurrently on Steam, which is amazing for a day one launch. That's also on Game Pass, and that is on Game Pass PC and console. These are great numbers, especially considering what they've been through, all the troubles that they've had in order to get this to be where it is today. So massive congratulations to the team, and I hope that they continue the success and can hit even 2 million, because if there's a studio out there who's been through hell and back and deserves it, it is definitely the GSC. They did everything they could to get this game out, and people even lost their lives in the process in trying to get this game over the line. So I think, especially with the days, the reviews out there, which are all basically nonsensical and pointless because they didn't have the day 0 patch or the day 1 patch. They had no patches, so they played it in its raw, kind of broken state. I don't even know why the review codes were sent out in the first place. But, the fact that over 1 million copies were sold is still great for the studio. And, in terms of reviews on Steam, it's overwhelmingly good, which is great. Now, this is where I come in and I say, you know what? There are just some people out there that are just despicable. Pretending the devs are in the middle of a battlefield so you can excuse trash optimization and blatant... I mean, this guy is an absolute moron. Seriously, this isn't it, man. You're not getting an ambitious broken shooter with Stalker 2. You're getting an ambitious but broken shooter that has more reason to be glitchy than any game in recent history. And they're referring to the ongoing... Well, I can't really say it on YouTube because it will get me demonetized, but you know the altercation that is going on. And you know what? D had a very good take on this. Honestly, you are a moron. Parts of the devs teams were involved and lost their lives. In fact, the guy who actually envisioned the whole story, the plot, pretty much the whole game of Heart of Chernobyl, he lost his life. And there were a few other devs who went in and, they lost their lives too, which is, really sad. If you've seen their deep dive documentary, you will know what sacrifices they made in order to get this over the line when they had to relocate to Prague. It's awful, right? STFU, now you twerp, dumb fanboys on all sides, and I will cook you all every time. Do you know what? I usually, give D a hard time, but it's all fun and games, and he knows I'm only messing about for the most part. But, this one over here, spot on. I am fully behind this one. This is not it. This dude is literally mocking dead people that lost their lives. You can't get lower than that. You literally cannot get lower than that. Well, you probably could, but how sad do you have to be? And of course, you know, you go to the opposite end of the spectrum. Like I said, some unfortunate news towards the end of the video. If this would have been a PlayStation fanboy, there would already be... You know, I've been calling people out for a long time. This is disgraceful. This shouldn't be happening, man. Come on. Now, Jay Barry obviously decided that he wanted to use this to console war, which I called him out on. You know, this shouldn't be it. You know, he decided to... You know, it's wrong. I mean, he's not even an Xbox fan, but this is scumbag material. But for Jay Barry to go along and try to use this as a console war rhetoric just undermines the whole point, right? It just undermines the whole point of what the dude is doing. And instead of calling the dude a scumbag, he's trying to console war. But you know what? Regardless of, you know, how misplaced Jay Barry is, this dude is just bad. And if anyone sees this, should report him. End of story. Well, with the bad news out of the way, that's, you know, we've got Stalker 2, which has done amazing stuff, having hit, you know, 1 million sales, which is great, being on Game Pass as well. We've got Call of Duty confirming that being on Call of Duty has increased console sales, even if it is by 10%. It's increased subscriptions, it's increased DLC purchase, it's increased the number of people buying the Vault Edition. So it's increased quite a bit, and it's done what it needs to do. And even if the majority of the sales were on PlayStation, it doesn't matter, because all that matters when it comes to Xbox is that subscription count. And as long as that subscription count is increasing, they are winning. And Stein, I know you were joking, buddy. Too soon. Too soon. Do better. Right, folks, that's the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Legend.